This might be a little inflammatory and possibly even a bit offensive, but the social climate that we live in now is very touchy, very prickly. But something that I've noticed with the trans woman debate and conversation is the way that trans women define womanhood. And trans women, it's so interesting, trans women define womanhood by the parts of womanhood that they have access to. And they really push the parts of womanhood that they don't have access to as not being intrinsically a part of womanhood. So, for example, being able to conceive and procreate, that's a part of womanhood, but trans women vehemently reject it as being a part of womanhood because they don't have access to that part of womanhood. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, hold on, let me get my thought. And I say this because this came up in conversation with a friend of mine. We were talking about, I forget the black trans woman who's, pretty well known, who kind of goes around telling black women how and what womanhood is. And I'm on the side that is unpopular, which is no, there's a demarcation between women and trans women. They're not the same, simply because trans women can experience womanhood up to a certain extent and then it stops. For those of us who are born women, we get the full spectrum, all the way up to procreation and menstruation, right? So yeah, we were talking about whether trans women are women, whether they're not, and I had to disagree that no, there's a line of separation there. Inherently, there's a line of separation, and saying that doesn't make one a transphobe, and acknowledging that doesn't make one a transphobe. Yeah, the social climate that we live in right now is one that rejects academia, scholar, and just plain common sense, and prefers emotional validation and accepting emotional precedent as fact. And I don't mean to be one of those people, but I have to be because this is the way that it is. Emotional experiences can't be construed with fact. They're not the same. But yeah, basically, I'm not in a position where I feel that I'm prepared to cede the space of defining what womanhood is entirely to trans women for them to tell women what womanhood is. This is a hill that I'm willing to die on. I know, unpopular opinion, unprovoked opinion, nobody asked. So yeah, at some point in time, there needs to be a boundary and there has to be a line drawn, because if we allow people to continue to blur the lines based off of just how they're feeling, and we allow those concessions to be made, just concession after concession, and conceding that sort of space, then we're going to run into some real issues. And one of those issues that I can think of is women being forced to concede the definition of what we inherently and intrinsically are to someone else to define for us. And I think it's worth noting that I don't see trans men trying to dominate the space of malehood, and redefine the system that is kind of revolving around what man is and what males are, and so it's only just happening to us women, and I think that that is worth noting.